All right, so we got another video here for you guys, and this one is called The Art of Learning, okay? So we're gonna learn how to learn, and this is very important because when you're learning, you don't want to waste time. You want to be as effective as possible and be learning in a way where you can spend the least amount of time learning and absorb all that information and have it inside your mind. So we're going to talk about that in today's video, okay? So we're going to get right into it. Number one, we got 4 points here, okay? So number one, absorb new information and learn new concepts, but only implement things that make sense to you, okay? So you want to learn new things, but you don't want to blindly accept the information, okay? So you don't want to blindly listen to anybody. That includes me. You don't want to blindly accept any information that I'm giving you. It needs to resonate with you. It needs to make sense for you to want to try it out for yourself and, implement it in your day-to-day life. Maybe something is not that important to you. You're just like, you decide like, you know what? This specific something is just not that important to me and I don't really care to do it. Then that's totally fine. That's a decision that you have to make. And maybe I say something that you don't agree with at all, and you don't want to implement that into your life, and that's completely fine as well, right? My voice a little bit. Try to get my voice back here. This is the second video I did today. But yeah, you don't want to do things that you're doing just because somebody told you to do it and you don't really believe in it, or you don't really see the benefit in it, or you don't even actually understand why you're doing it, okay? So have your own mind, absorb the information, learn the new things, but also have your own mind and do what makes sense to you, okay? So number two, study so much that the information is internalized and can be implemented intuitively, okay? So you want to study what it is that you're trying to get good at, whether it be poker, whether it be any other skill that you're trying to learn. You want to study it so much. You want to be so obsessed with it. There's a quote, Grant Cardone says it, and the quote is in this book as well, is be obsessed or be average. There is no in between. So if you want to get really, really great at something, you have to be obsessed with it. Or accept the results congruent with not being obsessed, which is probably being average. So those are your two options. You want to study so much, okay? You want to study so much that the information is literally a part of your soul, okay? There's going to be another a book review that I'm going to do that it's called, I think the book is called So Good They Can't Ignore You. And it talks about being so good at something that you get that recognition. You can't be ignored because you've dedicated your life to a certain something, okay? So you want to go all in with anything that you're trying to learn, especially if it's something that's meaningful to you, that's something that's very important to you. You want to go all the way in, okay? All the way in, but then keep number one in mind as well. So only apply the information that resonates with you and that you find to be true within yourself, okay? Straight on to number three. There will be unexpected hurdles on your way to success. Unfair circumstances too. Don't waste time and energy complaining or worrying about it. Adjust and move forward, okay? Life is not fair, okay? Life is completely not fair. And you just, like, when life throws these unfair things at you and these hurdles, they're really just a test to see how resilient you're going to be, and if you're still willing to, break past those barriers and achieve your dreams. And there's an example of this in a book. It's called The Inner Game of Tennis, which is another book that I'm going to be, summarizing at some point on this channel. And so what happens is in this book, I forget I think he's like some sort of wrestler or something like that. I don't 100% remember. It's some sort of wrestling format, and what happened is he's going to do like the world championship of this thing. It's like some wrestling, and they have to wrestle in like this little, let's say this little like circle, right? And the wrestling people or the organization, they told him like the circle is going to be a certain size, right? So it's going to be a certain size. So it's like they told him it was going to be a big circle. Let's say they told him the circle was going to be like, just making numbers that I'm after, 20 by 20, okay? And he had been training the entire time, training for like 6 months to a year in this circle. This is the circle he's supposed to be competing in. And what happens is, when he gets to the training, he realizes that the circle is way smaller. And he brings it up to the people that are running the competition. He's like, I was told, it was going to be this, and now it's this. I've been training completely different. And then they said, like, it is what it is. And then at that moment, he realized, what? I can bitch and complain about this. I can cry all I want. That's the circle I'm going to be competing in. Nothing else matters. Adjust and move forward. Don't waste time and energy complaining about something that's not going to change. You see this in, like, for example, in basketball games, for example, where somebody gets a foul called and then they're just so angry and they're complaining about it, but the foul is already called. They can't retract the foul no matter what, okay? You can complain, you can cry, you can bitch, all you want. That foul will not be retracted. Now, you can also say, well, let's say, for example, somebody in the NBA is fouled, and then, he bitches at the ref and like gives him an earful. And then what happens is maybe the next time there's a close call, maybe the ref won't call it, kind of thing. You could say that in a situation like that, but in general, when you're, complaining about something, you're worrying about something, you're tossing all your energy into it, it's going to do absolutely no good for you. So don't waste your time being focused on the problem. Try to shift that energy to solutions, okay? And sometimes there aren't any solutions. So what should you do then? Sometimes, let's say you're focused on a problem. You're like, okay, Jack, I don't want to focus on the problem anymore. I want to be solution oriented, but for this specific thing, there actually isn't a solution. Okay, there is no solution to it. So what should you do then? If there's absolutely no solution, there's only one. Well, there's two options. You're gonna have to either accept that. You're gonna have to accept that into you. You're like, you know what? There's no solution. I'm gonna have to be at peace with this. So you don't have to worry about it anymore. You just accept it. You're like, you know what? This is it. This is what it is. There's no solutions. Like, I'll give you an example. I was at a Tony Robbins seminar one time, and there was a guy there that had lost his entire leg. Entire leg is gone. There's no solution to that. The leg is gone. He had a prosthetic leg, like one of those like thin little things. The entire leg, the whole thing. And there was also somebody there that had no legs and no arms. No legs, no arms, in a wheelchair. At that point, you have to just accept that. And as difficult as it may be, because it's either you accept it and move on with your life, or you worry about it for your entire life, which is not the way you really want to live. Like, like we said in the beginning of this video, life is unfair in a lot of different ways. And if we can't change a certain something, we have to learn to accept it so that we can actually be happy in our lives moving forward, and we can just continue to, evolve in whatever way we want to evolve. So I don't know how we actually got to that. I think we got a little bit sidetracked there, but let's get straight into number 4, which is very simple. Whatever you're trying to learn, whatever skill you're trying to learn, teach it, okay? Teach that thing, okay? If you teach it and you talk to people about it, you naturally get better. But obviously you can't do this if you're a beginner at this topic, whatever topic you're trying to learn. If you're a beginner, you can't really do that. And like I've told you guys in the past, this is a big reason why I've created this channel, is because I learn a lot of self-development stuff. I do a lot of learning on business and finances and emotional health and the brain. And I'm teaching it now on this channel, not only for you guys, but for me as well, to learn and absorb more of this information. It becomes more a part of me. Like when I talk it, when I'm talking it right now, I'm also listening to it, and I'm also absorbing even more of it. And the more you teach it, the more competent you are in that subject, and the more you kind of internalize that information. So if you can, and if you're in the position to, while you're learning a new skill, anything you're learning, it doesn't matter what it is, like I said, if you're in the position to learn it and do all these 3 steps first, and then number 4, you teach it, that's going to be where you want to be at. Once you start teaching it, you're really going to get to a point where you can, that information is internalized, right? Because like this, making a 10, 15 minute video, whatever it may be, off of 4 points, basically what it's saying is that this information is being more internalized into my body, okay? The more you read, the more you study, the more you learn. If you want to get to that level 4, you want to start teaching it. And if you can't teach it, like I said, just talk to friends about it. Like-minded friends. Let's say you want to learn about, hockey. You want to learn about, you're just obsessed with hockey. Go talk to people about hockey. That's gonna, and you bounce ideas off of each other. You learn about poker, obviously. Having friends to talk hands with and things like that is always going to be good as well. So, but overall, I do want to say overall, you are going to get your best learning done by yourself, because that's when you can actually zone in and focus and really learn without any distractions. But once you learn everything, when you start talking about it with other people a little bit and bouncing ideas off each other, then that'll internalize it even more, okay? So if you guys have any questions at all, just drop it in the comments down below, and I'll come in and I'll answer it. And comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.